The following podcast may be explicit. One Joe Young presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Here comes another episode wherein we both introduce and resolve an entire adventure. Join Kurt, Chris, Bridget, Joe, and special guest Mike for a fast-paced hour of Dungeon World fun in our world of Parandisi. Enjoy the podcast.
Hi, and welcome to the Shed for Adventures from the Shed. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com, on Facebook, search us up on Google or Bing or Yoohoo, and you will find us out there. We are back here continuing our Dungeon World campaign, A New Frontier, set in our world of Parandisi, who we have the person who made the map. We have to find it again, but we have it.
I'm sure I have it on my computer now.
Need to see that map.
And we're going to go around the table and quickly say hi. We'll start with this guy here.
Hey, this is Chris playing Uriel, the human emulator.
And I'm Mike playing Laramie Burnsteel, the paladin of Josia.
Go, Joe.
Go, Joe.
Go, Joe.
And this is Kurt. I am playing Breton Knobloch. He is a human ranger who does not like to wear dresses.
And
Anymore.
And a bit of a leper.
And this is
bit.
Bridget. I'm playing Lenore the Cleric.
And I am Joe. I am the Game Master as we continue in this fun game in Dungeon World.
And just to be clear before you start, if there's nothing wrong with wanting to wear dresses. I mean, if you're a ranger and it makes you feel good to wear dresses, that's totally cool, and we still want you to listen to us.
Do they have to be made of leaves or something?
Whatever floats your boat. It's just for Breton, he's a little more comfortable
Leaves don't float boats, so I guess not that. So we'll go right back to you, Kurt. You're going to give us a quick recap of what we did
I'm
previously on Adventures from the Shed.
Super quick recap because we're doing these as little one-shots. So the last episode, Breton was framed for the murder of an elven princess, the daughter of the king and queen who run the clan that is kind of outside of Harak. Was found with arrows in her body that had the fletchings that were similar to the ones that Breton uses. After a fair amount of...
They were the same. They were your arrows.
They were my arrows.
Or they were exactly
That's right.
Yeah.
They were my arrows.
You did it.
They weren't similar. They were.
After investigation and some eavesdropping and some inquiry, we found out that the Hawthorne House, which is one of the older noble houses, the ruling noble houses in Harak, one of its members, Eric Hawthorne, had in fact been responsible for the murder and had framed me using arrows taken from me while I was in jail for forgery. And at the end of the episode, we were able to out him through testimony of a woman in his house who had knowledge of the crime.
His wife.
Oh, it was his wife, sorry. And Breton was cleared, but he may still be getting views askance from members of the community who knew of his heavy metacuse and wonder if, in fact, there might be something wrong with him.
Breton spent more time wanted than it's been since Eric was incarcerated. Right. So there's more thought about Breton out there than Eric. Plus, shortly thereafter, within a day or two, Eric was released on house arrest, so he's pretty much just hanging out at home. He's no longer teaching at the school over the last week or so. But he's been, kept in his house with a couple of city guards outside, just making sure he doesn't go anywhere. Because in Harak, you don't keep a noble behind bars. It's just they don't do that. So he's in trouble for sure, and he may not get to do a lot of the cool things nobles get to do, but he won't spend a lot of time in jail.
But he's going to be pissed.
He lost his job, but for a noble, the jobs are more of an obligation or a hobby. And he doesn't necessarily get paid to be at the Bloomfield Preparatory Academy, but it is a recognized noble position, so he did lose that. So where are you guys? A couple of weeks after all this happened, you're all together somewhere doing something. What might that be?
How about we go hang out with the elves for a little bit?
Okay.
That's fine.
It works for me.
I'll introduce, because Uriel and I have already met the king and queen, we can introduce you guys who helped solve the mystery of the murder.
It sounds like a plan.
Just to forge our alliance a little bit stronger. Let them know that we're on the side of good.
What was the name of the clan again? Or the
Wild
location?
Wild
Mist.
Mist.
Wild Mist.
Right.
Wild
clan.
Mist. The elves are the Wild Mist elves. So there's... while you're there, after you've been there for a couple of days, they seem to start to trust you more. fewer of the elves are giving the look at Breton like they want to kill him, because they are of the understanding now that it really wasn't Breton that killed the princess there. And there's been talk amongst the elves, specifically the guards, the people who are in charge of security and keeping the place quiet. They're talking about more activity at the abandoned castle, which is an old historic thing. It's one of these where the center of the Wild Mist Woods, or the forest, is about a day from Harak. And if you kind of meander about, you see old buildings and ruins of different things. Well, one of them, off a little bit farther than most of them, is an old castle. And it is practically collapsed in on itself over the centuries. But the elves are talking about seeing activity at that castle, and that there are reports from the humans in Harak that some people have gone out to the castle and not returned, and they think there's something going on there. But the elves aren't really interested in going and checking it out themselves because it doesn't bother them at all. But clearly that's your hook. So, an ancient abandoned castle. And who might know something about its history? I'm going to go for a spout lore roll, but what character might know something about the history of an abandoned castle?
Maybe someone who's ranged in that area.
Yeah, it would make sense. I pass through the area more than most, I imagine.
Let's do it. Let's do you a spout lore roll, Mr. Breton.
Which is intelligence?
It is.
Oh, superb. I rolled a 5 plus 1.
That would be 6.
So I don't know
take
7.
anything about that character.
Lenore is giving you her failure.
Oh.
So that you may
have a
succeed.
7.
So you have a 7. You get a plus
her
1.
Failure?
She had a failure in the
I had a
last
chip
session,
from the
so she got
failure.
a chip for that. So that chip you can use on any roll.
Ah, okay. So I got
So she just gave you a 7.
Thank you, Lenore.
Lenore. All right.
I'm going to mark an XP. So I don't mark an XP then.
You don't, because you didn't fail.
Okay.
And we don't mark experience anyway.
We get
You just
chips.
Get a chip.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You've been here before. All right. So that castle, you've heard, Breton has heard rumors from other people who are out and about. Call them adventurers, but people who are out and about, maybe even some of the bounty hunters, what have you, that for the past few months, at least, if not longer, people have gone doing old like spelunking and treasure hunting and what have you at this ancient castle, and nobody's returned. And there's been growing concern over that.
Sounds like a legitimate concern.
It would seem so. So, old Bob, who you hung out with outside of town a few weeks ago, went there, and you've heard he's gone. Nobody knows where he went. He was just leading some tour to the castle, and the people he was leading there and him never came back.
Perhaps we should go check it out.
I hope so.
You have any information about this castle?
Not beyond what we just found out.
Yeah, it's as an attraction, it is something that people go, and it's equivalent today of somebody going by a pyramid and taking a selfie kind of thing.
Yeah.
And occasionally people will explore and find a new room under the castle or in a dungeon or something. But that hasn't happened for years, and people who have gone there recently are disappearing.
The kids used to dare each other
Yeah.
to go.
The place where you
Hang out
find
there all night by yourself.
Yeah.
there'd be medieval graffiti on the walls and what have you. Yeah.
Does this look like a penis?
It does look like that's all they draw is penises. Nothing else. So y'all are going to head there.
Yes.
I mean, it seems like a travesty that this has gone on so long. People disappearing.
Yeah. It's one of those where we believe, we as in everyone who isn't the player characters, believes that a lot of it wasn't reported because people would just go there. You don't necessarily tell somebody you're going to go to the playground unless it's your parents, right?
Yeah.
So if you're just going to check something out and then you don't return, it's probably days, if not weeks, before somebody notices you're not there. And that's kind of it. The rumors are bubbling up now, and the elves have heard of it because they have trade and what have you with Harak. As Lenore had said before, that they trade medicinal supplies and services so that the elves hear stuff, and that's what you're hearing while you're in the Wild Mist Forest. But it's not far away, so it's an easy trip to get there.
So it is not a perilous journey?
It is not a perilous journey to get there. To get away might be, though, because nobody else has come back for a long time.
I'm hoping and not hoping that there's some undead in there.
So the way I want to treat this is we're going to go right to arriving there, and you're arriving there because of the time you left. You're going to make camp and take a watch. Essentially what we're going to do is the take watch move, and we're going to have, we pick 2 people. We're going to make a roll, and you're going to roll plus wisdom, and if, depending on your roll, something bad might happen outside of the castle.
All right.
I mean, I'm happy to keep watch. Not the most perceptive, but I've done it before.
I've done it before. I've looked at things more than once.
Hey.
This could be another one of those times. So you guys pick 2 people who are going to take a watch.
The paladin
overnight.
and the ranger.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
Sounds
go
good.
for it. Who's going to go first?
I'll go first.
Go for it, Mike.
It's a 12.
Wow.
Somebody take those dice.
Laramie is crushing it today.
And this is plus wisdom? Mm-hmm. 9.
The ranger's horrible at taking watch.
He gets a little sleepy.
So overnight, I'm just going to cut to the chase. Overnight, at the edge of your periphery, and this is why you guys are changing. I shouldn't say the edge of your periphery. At the edge of what you would even see while you're taking a watch, there are quiet figures that just kind of march towards and around the castle, but don't seem to take notice of you, and you just see them go by. But it's like a quiet, slow, trudging motion of humanoids right at the edge of what you can see.
How many, roughly?
It happens through the night. It could be a couple of different patrols. It might be the same ones, but probably you see up to 20 to 30 figures, but not all at the same time. So it may be the same ones just coming through over and over.
Now, do they have like torches and stuff, or are they
No.
just dark
It's
figures?
all dark. I mean, moonlight, starlight, dark.
And they're working the perimeter, or like they're not.
From where you're sitting, so if the castle is off, a couple hundred yards off to your side, they're just coming within range of you briefly, so they might be walking around.
So they're
the
between
castle.
us and the castle.
Yes.
I see.
And
Maybe
they seem
some
to be
sort
going
of
in the
patrol.
same- yeah, they seem to be going in the same direction every time.
Are they quiet?
Yep.
No noise?
No noise. It's only because of the 10 plus of the paladin that you guys notice. As you're swapping watch, he says, "I think I saw something over there," and the ranger's like, "Oh yeah, I think I see what you're talking about too," and that's what you gather out of it.
Are they
But
liches?
they never come any closer. Are they liches? Do you want to go shake a hand?
I'm just joking.
Oh damn!
It'd be fun if we had Lich Patrol.
Lich Patrol.
Which, when I have my next band, I think I'm going to call it Lich
Lich
Patrol.
Patrol.
pretty good.
Cool.
That's pretty good.
So the morning happens, sun comes up, and you do notice that when the sun comes up, as dawn approaches, you don't see those figures walking anymore. It's morning. You guys are now, give it a couple hundred yards outside of the castle. You look in, and it's just one of those, as I described, it's an old, call it ancient, castle, and a lot of the stones are fallen in. The highest tower that remains is just a portion of one of the previous towers, and it might be 25 feet tall or so. The walls are almost all collapsed. There's holes everywhere that people could just walk through. It's more like
It's like ruins more than a functioning
exactly.
castle.
Were there
And
any?
that's where you are.
Were there any physical footprints on the ground where they saw these figures?
Yes. When you approach there, yeah, that's footprints all along the ground. Tracking. I don't know if you want to try using any of that. What I want to get out of here is, since you asked about the footprints, maybe we can do a discern realities roll. Let's do that. Let's do a group discern realities again.
Yeah.
No, before anybody rolls, I'm going to do what I said last time, but I'm going to change it a little bit. Everybody roll one die, and we're going to take the best 2 out of all 4.
Well, if it
But
helps,
there's
I have
not enough
hunt and
noise
track.
for that.
Joe,
Huh?
if it helps, I have hunt and track,
I am number 1.
but I rolled a 6.
All right.
I rolled a 4.
So we have a 6 and a 4. That gives us the 10 plus that we need for the 3 questions. But I'll do the same thing I did last time. Each of you may ask a question about this area, or about what you might know. It, again, does not have to be a discern realities question, but those are good places to start. Does anyone have one that they want to start with?
I mean, could one of it be like where do these tracks seem to lead? Like, do they go to a certain spot on the castle, or do they go around the castle, or?
It looks like as you get closer, it looks like they do indeed walk an almost perfect circle around the castle, and there's one spot in the circle where footprints go in and out of one specific hole in the wall.
Okay.
I mean, my hunt and track question, which I know is not what you were doing, but is gain a
It works.
useful bit of information about your quarry that the GM chooses. Which
It looks like as they walk, bits of them fell off. Like they might be zombies or skeletons or something. There's little bits of clothing and stuff.
they're decaying.
Is and stuff like arms?
Not entire arms, no. Well, we'll say there's like a finger or a toe or something.
Piece of flesh.
Yeah, a singular bone from a finger or something like that.
You'd like these guys. They're falling apart.
Yes, but they can't suffer.
I've got two other questions here.
Mm-hmm.
Bridget, Mike, not Mike, Chris, the other Mike,
Mike number 2.
bald Mike.
Bald black Mike. What? That doesn't work.
Totally sounds
And
bad.
just like Mike did, you don't have to ask the question directly from the
Right,
sheet, but
yeah.
they're fine. I'm mostly prepared to answer those questions, and then others I'll just make crap up.
Is there a central boss figure that we need to defeat in a dungeon somewhere?
Yes. The answer is yes. If that's your question,
No.
Yeah.
But
What's
And
the
if it's
answer
not
to
your
life?
it
question,
was
Answer
who's
is
really
interesting.
in control here.
Okay.
So I guess.
All right, so we'll go with who's in control here. Based on what Breton could tell with his tracking and what you surmise from that, because bits are falling off, these zombies or skeletons must be fresh. So these aren't like zombies that have been around for 100 years. They seem to be freshly made zombies.
Which
So-
means a necromancer or wizard of
Yeah,
some sort.
so I will.
No,
I
your
will,
first word is
I
the
will
right
toss
word.
my question off of that information. So we're assuming the people that have gone missing, these are them patrolling the area.
If that's a question you're asking, the answer is yes. So the
Sorry about
you're
Bob,
wicked
man.
smart.
Sorry
Yeah.
about Bob.
Wicked
Bob.
snap.
yeah, actually, you see Bob's insignia ring on the finger that's on the ground.
He used to buy me
Bob.
mail.
Bob.
Shoot.
Poor Bob.
He was always a generous drunk.
There's drunk. Neat. Okay, so that's what you have for what's outside right now. Some of the information you have, which kind of tells you what's going on right now.
And obviously there's lots of holes, so we don't have to look for a way in.
I say we go the pathway they made into the place.
So you want
Can we
to
follow that?
Yeah, the,
There's a-
there's enough
footprints
of
went
a-
to a clear
Sure.
hole.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, the one thing about zombies and skeletons is they don't cover their footprints. And they have no need to, or intelligence to. So you guys, are
not
you
like
going to
sand
do
people.
that or find a different way in? I mean, you know that's
Eh.
way
I think
in.
we
You
should
know
follow
that's
that
We know
one.
we can get in
Yeah.
for sure this way.
Why don't I?
And they're going to take the
kinda
path of least resistance.
Can I
to
try to
zombies.
sneak in?
Where's
the
your
whole-
wolf?
Cloud? Cloud would be with us.
Yeah, this
Why
place
didn't
stinks.
Cloud just take a pass around and see if...
Around the castle or in the
Yeah,
hole?
around the castle.
Sure, we can do that.
See if there's a different way in that...
There are several other ways in, and when Cloud comes back, you get the impression that everywhere that Cloud looked in, there were some kind of unnatural eyes looking back out. Like Cloud knows that the entire castle is on the lookout, and Cloud comes back and is like, "Woof, woof, woof. We've been spotted. Woof, woof."
I think I
Should
would
have
try
rolled
to,
a 10+.
I would
Woof,
try to
woof.
Feels like somebody's watching us.
sneaky, stealthy in the
Okay.
hole where we saw the zombies going,
Sure.
and then come back and let them know what I see.
You forgot you had a wolf, didn't you?
Yeah, I completely skipped it last time.
Well, it would be pointless. To
I mean,
use.
it would look weird to have a
Yeah.
guy with.
Guy in a dress,
At
as
a dress
leper
with a
with
wolf.
a wolf.
Cloud just hung back with the
Cloud was,
cultists
at the infirmary.
at the infirmary. The cultists
With the
at
nurses.
the infirmary.
Or the
all right,
sisters.
so
One of the
give me-
cute young nurses really took a liking to Cloud.
I thought Cloud was a
Is
girl.
the Zrika at all? It's a
Okay.
sisterhood, no males.
It's completely sisterhood.
That's good for you.
Kurt, give me a defy danger with dexterity roll to get you all sneaky in there.
Come on, baby!
He trips.
8 plus 3, 11.
11. All right, so you're able to get in, and you see along the way Bob as a zombie, missing a finger, the one with his insignia ring on it, or signet ring. He's just kind of staring at the hole, and you just slither your way past. He doesn't really notice you. And behind Bob, it looks like what would have been two tourists dressed for a camping adventure. They've got their backpacks on. One of them still holding a walking stick. They're also zombies. Yeah. And farther down that hallway is just a bunch of skeletons, like just reanimated skeletons. You get to a door, and that's where you'll turn and go back out. Otherwise, they would notice you trying
But they're
to get
not
through a door.
attacking me or...
No, because of your roll. You're successful in getting in and out. And what you saw was after you got through the outside entrance, the hole in the outside wall, you just had to take a couple of short turns of just following the footprints, and that's where you passed Bob. And then there was a hallway with a door that's just completely destroyed. It looked like a wooden and iron door, and just a couple bits of iron still hang from the door frame. And at the end of that hall, past the skeletons, is what looks like a relatively current sturdy door. And that's where you had to stop before you come back out.
Maybe I could pick up my holy symbol when we go over that way and do a turn on dead so that it may stun them, it may cause them to flee, or keep them off of us.
Kind of like what happened on the way to the Wizard's Workshop. You made the zombies run away.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that sounds like a good plan. My usual plan is just run in, stab, punch,
Well, because
turn around, run out.
you know Bob. I mean, we don't necessarily want to kill him.
Well,
And
he's
Bob-
dead already.
I'm
We gotta
pretty
put him
sure
to
Bob
rest.
was
Yeah.
a very competent tour guide adventurer. He was a semi-ranger himself. So if something caught him off guard, then
So were those skeletons you saw armed?
yes. Everything was, every skeleton was armed with the typical dilapidated wooden buckler and rusty short sword.
All right.
The zombies are whatever they had at the
Stereotypical
time.
skeletons.
Skeletons are us.
The zombies would just be armed with whatever they had. So one has a walking stick.
Right,
one
yeah.
just has nothing in it.
One has a book.
Maybe.
Bob has the same bow that he always used, and I guess I've
We'll
never
see if
seen
they
a zombie
remember how
shoot
to
a
use
bow,
it.
but we might.
Yeah, we'll see if they remember how to use
I mean,
it.
if y'all can sneak in and get Bob, I can speak with him, like if he's dead. And then since he's such a good ranger, maybe we could get some information.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Okay.
I'm down for
So
that.
you want
Will
to
he
get in
understand
there?
your accent?
Well, I do have a voice that transcends language
It's a good point.
and a certain folksiness that also transcends language too.
So who wants?
Certain genteel
Who's going
way.
to go in and try and grab Bob?
Well, I can go in
I
and
can grab
try
him.
and
I can try to grab him.
do the turn on dead so that they stay away, or they.
Well,
if
they
you're
could
trying
freeze,
to do
they
it
can-
secretly and only grab Bob, then that
Well,
would be bad.
that's yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't that just make them all run out?
It could, but it could also just stun them and keep them all in one place.
So what's the plan to get Bob? I like the plan to talk to him. Now, what's the plan to get him?
I think sneaky plan. I'm not good at sneaky.
Huh?
yeah.
Man, I can just walk in the door, stab him, walk out.
Or the flaming immolator could go in and intimidate him.
You think he'll
So
follow
you've
me
got
out?
Bob and two tourists that were with him as zombies, and they're their own little group. And the skeletons.
Yeah,
are
we
out
might,
of
might be able to
eyesight
draw
of
them
those.
out. Just
Okay. So you just want to go in
Just
and get them
peek your head in the
to
door.
follow you back out.
Hey,
yeah,
Bob.
see if it'll work. Yeah.
I'd
Okay.
like to stand at the entrance, so when they come out, maybe I could get to jump on one of them tourists.
Who's going to be the one to do that? I'll give you the heads up. As far as drawing Bob and the two tourists out, the way I'm viewing this is either going to be, I don't know, let's just call it intelligence. It's going to be a smart plan. Who's going to do the
Well,
smarts?
Okay.
Or does it make sense to you to draw him out because you might recognize
You draw
somehow?
out Bob. When the tourists come out, I can do hold person on one, and you can do something on the other one.
Yeah, I'll do the one called stab in the face.
Okay.
That's my other move.
Well, I'll do hold person on
So are
one
we
of
looking
them.
at get them out,
Get
kill
three
the
of them.
two zombies, and talk to Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's a plan, let's
That's a
do
plan.
that.
That's
All
great.
right, who's going to roll the intelligence to draw them out?
Even though I don't have great intelligence,
Because
I will-
I'm
Got it
fine
better
with
than mine.
anybody saying, "Hey, woohoo, skeletons!"
7?
8 total.
8?
It's better than me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Excuse me. So you get that, and they follow you, and you hear the clattering of bones as well, and it looks like a couple of skeletons may have heard you. And you come around the corner, and there's Bob and the 2 zombies, and as you come back out where everyone else is, everyone also hears what is probably a couple of skeletons coming, but you're there now. You got Bob and the 2 zombies right now. Who does what?
I guess I would stab the zombie.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do a hack and slash.
In the eye
I'm
socket.
not going to do hold person on the other one if there's
Okay.
zombies or if there's skeletons
snap.
coming. Because I
They're
want to
not
be
here
able
yet.
What does Mike
Uh-oh.
roll?
They're coming.
critical fail.
Those are 2 ones?
Those
two ones?
Give him a chip.
Give Mike a chip there, Bridget.
Well, you can hold person to one zombie, and I can take care of the skeletons when they show
Okay,
up.
that
Hold
sounds
on to
like a
that,
better
Mike.
plan now. All right, I'm going to hold person on one of the zombies.
In the meantime, before or as you're casting, what does it look like when you're doing hold person spell?
Oh, it was the throat
All right.
grab.
So you reach out, and as you're clenching your fist and summoning the power of Zoraika, Mike, roll a d6.
Oh no.
4.
4. The zombie gets right at you and starts gnawing on your neck. You take 4 points of damage.
Ouchie.
Well,
Look at that, Mandalay Bay 12
plus 3.
Plus 3. Oh, no, that's too many.
I hold the heck out of that zombie.
You do. So what does that look like when the zombie's trying to move but it can't? Is it struggling against an unseen force, or is there a force that others can see?
It's like it keeps trying to walk, but its head is in place, so like its feet keep walking.
So you're only holding its head still, and the rest
Pretty
of it
much,
is
yeah.
That's kind of neat.
It's a throat grab,
All right, I like it.
but
So
it's,
we have
I'm
a-
not touching him.
We
'cause
have a
that's
zombie
gross.
that's held by the power of Zoraika, a zombie that is eating Laramie and Bob.
What's Bob doing?
Bob is also ready to attack whomever. Laramie just stepped up to a zombie and swung his sword. You have a sword, right?
Yep.
All right, so he swung his sword at him, and the zombie just kind of let the sword bounce off of it because it didn't really do any damage to the zombie, and then it just lunged forward and started chewing on his neck. Nom nom nom.
I'm sort of out of practice.
It's been a little while.
That was the first time I've swung a sword on this podcast.
So what are you doing there?
I'm going to use
You
my
over
moth to the flame to just make sure Bob doesn't start any trouble, and then we'll deal with the zombies that we.
So what does that do?
I can tempt a weak mind with my inner fire, so basically I just kind of tell him what to do, control them.
Okay.
I'm just
seems
going
like
to
it
tell him
would
to try to rest. Hopefully he'll just. Yeah.
Calm down,
Yeah.
buddy.
Ugh.
Yeah, he says.
That's a 6. Unless you get me get a chip, you want to hook me up with or something.
I think let's let this one fail.
All right. So on a miss, they become agitated and upset. Your fire having sparked their hidden desires.
So
damn
Bob's
it.
hidden desire is to eat an immolator.
Yeah, it's totally.
It's no longer hidden.
Yeah.
So in response, I'm going to send Cloud.
Bridget, would you
Chip.
hand Mike a chip? The other Mike.
Yeah. Blackballed Mike.
Blackball Mike.
Mike a chip.
I'm going to
Now,
send.
hold on. Before we get there, roll a d6. Chris.
Ooh, I hope it's even.
Odd.
I hope it's
you have
odd.
your whole thingy there.
Yes.
What is it?
So it's a 5.
So what is that?
Hopefully, fighting fire with fire. When I take damage, the damage is odd.
Yeah.
The flames within you come, so the flame kind of protects me.
Yep.
So we'll see. It's 1 with 4 points for damage.
All
for
right.
me.
So you take that. So Bob
I might
just,
actually have to heal.
when you
Let's make
tried
camp.
to
crazy.
get Bob to calm down, you actually saw some of your own fire spark up behind his
Yeah, well,
eyes in
yeah.
the eye sockets, and he lunges forward, and there's like a bit of flame that comes out of his mouth as he's just grabbing at you and clawing,
Take it
and
easy,
that's the
Bob.
damage. So
Dang.
Kurt, you were going to say something.
Well, I was going to send Cloud over to try to intimidate Bob to keep him off of Uriel.
Well, Cloud can try and get in there, but what's the role that we're going to do to get there? Because Cloud doesn't do anything without you.
Correct. So I have to use command.
Yep.
I guess I use.
So the idea is
But I don't
you're
really
going to
wanna
work
attack.
together, but you're going to work together to try and keep Bob away.
Correct.
So you've got 2 zombies eating 2 party members, and Lenore holding the other one by the throat.
We're going to end up joining the zombie brigade soon.
It very well could happen.
Well, how about I sick Cloud on the non-Bob zombie?
That's one on him, right?
That's
Yeah,
the
that's
one
on him.
The one that's currently chewing on Laramie.
Because
And I
you
will
want to
also
talk to
attack.
Bob, right?
And so when I
Yeah.
attack,
Yeah.
Although his level of deadness does not really affect it as long as he's not destroyed.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to burn him.
Yeah.
Okay.
But by commanding Cloud to attack with me, I can add his ferocity to my damage.
Go for it. So let's do the attack. Are you going to
Ferocity is
shoot a
+1.
bow or swing a sword, or what is it that
I
you
would
do?
be using my bow. It's my my preferred attack. So I guess that's a dex
Have you
roll.
changed the color of your fletching?
No, I'm going.
No, you're sticking with the
I'm sticking
unnatural,
for my normal.
True blue.
the peacock blue.
Golly.
Golly.
Well, I rolled 4, but actually with +3, that gets me to 7.
Okay, so you have to choose. Are you losing ammo? Are you reducing damage?
I will lose ammo because I can
Okay.
always make more.
Okay, so reduce whatever your current ammo is by 1,
Yes.
and that zombie will take an arrow, and between that and Cloud yanking at it, it will fall off of Laramie and just kind of squirm around on the ground for a bit. It's out of the action.
Okay.
What's happening with Bob then?
Oh, can we take care
So
of this
Laramie,
other
if you
zombie?
wanna-
Yeah, I guess I would just, now that I'm free of a zombie, just walk up to the one that's being held
Yeah.
and just like quickly execute it. Maybe like sword
Okay.
through the side of the head.
Yeah, because as soon as you do anything to it, it's released from the hold. So
Okay, that's done.
Just
so now
kill
we
it.
just have Bob
Bob is good.
clawing
Now,
at,
do you want me to hold Bob?
Uriel.
Yeah, because he's trying to kill me, and I don't want to burn him up.
I mean, we could just also stab Bob. I mean,
You don't need him alive.
I mean, he'll
Cut off his
Well, I guess
legs and
he's
speak
not
to the
alive.
dead.
Yeah.
So,
Cut off his
All right,
legs and-
let's get rid
Yeah.
of Bob.
yeah. So I guess same thing to Bob.
Okay. Well, Bob, you'd have to attack because
Bob's
he's
not held.
currently he's currently
it
engaged.
Yeah.
With
Unless you want me to
Uriel.
hold him.
I guess I'll just pull him off of him.
Okay. So defy danger with some strength because you might rip part of Uriel off as
Ooh.
well.
That's an 11.
All right. So you successfully get Bob off of there, and just as that happens, 2 skeletons come around the corner right behind Breton because you're off with your bow. And they come around the corner, and they're charging at you, as skeletons do. I always think they look really cool, animated skeletons. With their swords, their rusty short swords held up high, and they're just coming right at you, ready to swing. What do you do?
So they're behind me. So I have
Yeah.
time to draw my sword
Yep.
and turn around. And if Cloud is still with me, Cloud will
Oh, yeah.
help defend me.
Let's try
And,
it.
we'll
It
attack.
sounds like a hack and slash.
It does sound like a hack and slash, which is not my best.
But
I'm
you're
plus
gonna do
0
it.
with strength, so I need to roll well. Come on.
You could do it.
And I rolled a 4.
Oh,
You want me
give
to turn
Kurt
on
another
dead?
chip.
But I get. Nope, that's it. 4.
Do you want me to
Give
turn
another
on?
chip.
Want me to turn on dead? Get him off.
All right, Kurt, roll a d6 and add 2.
Been waiting to turn undead.
One.
No, I guess I'll let you give
So
it a
you'll
shot
take 3
then.
points of damage.
We haven't had. This is the first time we've had undead in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, this session, but the zombies at the Wizard's Workshop, you made them run. We just
Do I adjust for
Okay.
armor?
In this case, no, we're not going to adjust for armor. Just because I want it to happen,
Yeah.
just make it go. All right, so Bob's been pulled off. The 2 skeletons are there. Lenore, what are you doing? to
Undead.
help?
Turn undead. Turn
Do you want to
undead.
make the
I'm gonna-
skeletons?
Yes, I'm going to raise my
Okay.
holy symbol aloft and say, "By the power of Zoraika, I command you to stop it.
Cut it out.
Cut it out."
Stop it.
10, 11, 12,
I'm going
13.
to put you in timeout.
So on a 10 plus, what happens?
10 plus, I momentarily daze intelligent undead and cause mindless undead to flee.
So the skeletons run off into the woods.
You're welcome.
Their lower jaw drops off of the skull, like they went to scream, and they tried to scream so loudly that their jaw actually falls off, and they go running off into the woods.
Before Bob can run away, also.
Well, this
I thought
just
Bob was
skeletons-
dead.
Just the skeletons.
Well, did I kill Bob or did I just
You,
grab him
no,
off
you,
of him?
you pulled him off of Uriel. Now do with Bob as you will.
All right, so I would just like quickly like head twist Bob so that he drops to the ground, and then so it'll make it easier for us to talk to him.
Let's try that. Well, yes, that happens. And now, how do you want to talk to Bob?
Well, I would just cast a little bit of a spell.
A little bit of a spell.
Yep.
So not an entire
Do you
spell.
have Speak with Dead?
I do have Speak
That's
with
what I
Dead.
had, too. I don't have it now.
All right.
Why are you covering the microphone while you're talking?
Because I was...
Oh, okay. Like while you were talking, you had your hand in front. Sorry.
But yeah, so I will hold my hands over
All right.
Bob's face.
So read Speak with Dead, and then tell me what it looks like when you do it, and then roll.
A corpse converses with you briefly. It will answer any 3 questions you pose to it to the best of its knowledge it had in life and the knowledge it gained in death.
All right. Now, what does it look like when you do it?
I sort of just hold my hand over his face, and when there's like a little bit of a fog that goes down, but you can almost see like little like fog skeleton faces, and it goes into his face, and then his face activates so he can talk. I guess I'll just cast. Well, that's probably going to do it. That's a 9 on the dice plus
wisdom, I believe.
wisdom, which would be a 10.
All right. So that happens, and Bob, rather than the immolator fire that he had briefly, actually gets human look back in his eyes. Instead of it being completely black, he gets the hazel color that he had when he was alive, and he just stares directly at your hand above his head.
All right.
But you get 3 questions now.
I pull my hand away and I look at him. I'm like,
What is the capital of Australia?
"Sorry, Mr. Bob. Something bad has happened to you, but we need some information. Could you tell us what happened to you when you got here?"
All right, so the dead are notorious at being very straightforward. And you have to choose your questions wisely. But Bob will start by telling you, this guy came out of nowhere and turned us into zombies.
All right.
That happened.
Um,
That's one question.
Can you describe this guy?
And Bob starts by holding up 3 fingers, and as you ask a question,
Brody fingers
one finger
good.
falls off.
I was saying, it has to fall off.
He's already missing one.
Yeah. He uses the other hand for this. Although he could use either, I
Wait,
suppose.
which one is he
And
missing?
he just ends up with the middle finger at the end.
That's what it's going to be. It's either that or the thumbs up, one or the other. All right.
I guess, can you describe this fellow that turned you into a zombie?
So, that would be a thing. Yes. No. He's an old man dressed all in black. I've never seen him before.
Johnny Cash.
It's Johnny
Could be.
Cash.
Johnny Cash!
Maybe a ring of fire in here soon.
Burns. Ring of
Ask him if he has any weaknesses.
but he'd have to have known
Right,
it either
yeah.
in life or death.
Can you describe the route down to wherever this fellow was?
Oh. It's an interesting thought. Okay, yes, and he does. So now you know how to get there.
All right. And then he does just sort of fades out.
I mean, the gist of it is through the door, down the hallway to the left, down here, you'll see a thing, and then it's over there.
When you come to a fork in the road?
Yeah, unmute your mic.
But I just sort
When
of
you come to a fork in the road?
There you go.
just sort
But
of
it's that, yeah.
put my hands over his eyes and close them, and then put his arms in a respectable manner. And I'm like, "Sorry, Bob. You seem like a real nice guy."
Bob was a nice guy. He was.
Rest in peace, Bob.
Pieces.
Rest in pieces. Yes.
Anybody want some healing?
If you're going to give it, yeah.
I mean, I got
She gets to
I-
I'm
cast
not going to
spells.
say no.
I
She gets to tempt fate.
I get to touch you.
Uh-huh.
Wait, so
Everybody look away.
I have to do this first to cast it, right? And
Well, you
then-
always have to roll to cast a spell.
Okay.
And have you cured anyone
No!
yet? So
That's
what
why
does
I'm
that
excited.
look like?
It's all about being in pain.
Or sound like?
Well,
Or feel like?
Feels pretty good. But
We're going to find out.
Lay your hands on me.
Lay your
well, where did you get
hand
hit?
on me.
You got bit or
the guy was clawing at me, so maybe my arms got all
his
chewed up.
arms, his shoulders,
All right.
whatever. Anything
was
that
also bit
You
in
don't
the
wear
neck.
armor either.
No, I don't.
Right, so he can be clawed anywhere.
So,
Oh, you're going to have ripped shirt. You're
Oh,
gonna have a
yeah. Ripped shirt's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Be like Captain Kirk now. Shirt off.
so I'm just going to touch your arm where you got clawed, and you'll feel like a cool sensation because everything's cool compared to
Oh, yeah. Especially
your
for me.
warmth,
This is
but it'll
weird.
feel very cold, and then it'll disappear.
Icy
Ready?
hot.
Maybe
Yeah.
icy hot.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
9, 11,
Strange sensation.
11 does
and I
it.
get 1d8.
Do you say anything? Are there any words that you use?
Heal
There you go.
All right.
by the power of Zoraika. You are healed, sorta.
Deuce.
For
Sort of.
2.
Zoraika's not all that powerful.
Yeah, but the thing is, she can keep casting that as long as she wants.
Could I get a
Unless
You want
healthy helping
some?
of that?
There you
I
go.
could.
I like holding the hand over my neck.
Squirting that.
7, 10. So, borrow that again. By the power of Zoraika, maybe a little stronger this time. 3.
All right.
Hey,
if
I
you
got
just
what I
keep
asked
doing it,
for.
I'll take one.
Oh, yeah.
You want... What are you down?
3.
Oh.
I mean, if it doesn't
You'll
cost
probably get a
anything.
1 then. She'll roll a 1 for you.
There we go.
It all
Double
was
It's like
ones.
half for everybody, I think.
She's smart. She didn't ask Brett where he was
7,
injured.
10?
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Want some icy hot?
Yes, please.
8.
8.
I only
Person who didn't need it.
Am I +5 now?
No, you just get, you get it all.
+5.
All right,
But
so
you had
y'all
to
are healthy.
Maybe you got an especially
I'm a little scratchy still.
favored by Zoraika because
Do you
of the
want me to
time
do
you
it
spent
again?
with some
Yeah,
sisters.
if
Want
you
some more
attempt-
icy hot?
All right, sure, I'll take it.
He wants more icy hot.
Yeah, you
8,
got it.
11.
This game's
Wow.
easy when you roll.
She can just
Two
keep going.
passes in a row.
She should have it.
unless
Six
you
or
need
below. 6 or below.
I
she
mean, I'm
kills
only
you.
down 1. I think
The
I'm fine.
point is, like anything else that can change what's going on, it requires a roll. So it could have failed. Any one of those could have been a failure. And who knows, on a failure, Zoraika may have cut off her powers for a while.
Yeah.
And that could be bad.
you're shut down.
as you're heading in to defeat a necromancer.
Well, now I'm going to put my symbol away and bow my head for a minute and
Okay. That works.
Give thanks.
give thanks. Cut myself a little.
So now you guys know the path to get to the necromancer, and Breton knows there are still several skeletons on the path that you've been told to follow. That's before the first door. Surely there's something past that. Traps, more minions, whatever it may be. So what is your what's your next step? What's your marching order, I guess, and who's doing what as you head down? Well, Laramie will be your GPS for this journey.
Well, since we know that these skeletons are there, at least on the first part, it seems like I should be able to pick them off with headshots from a distance.
Okay, done.
Make it an easy passage.
That's good. They're done
works.
then. You got that. So that passage is now open, and there's that door at the end.
Could I investigate that door to see if it's locked?
It is definitely locked. And it's one of those where there's a keyhole, but it doesn't seem to be any way to open it from the outside. So either it pushes in or there's some mechanism
Does
or
it
who
need
knows
a
what.
skeleton key?
Nobody loots the bodies in this game. Something must have a key on it. But no, it doesn't. I'm just joking. We never loot the bodies because the loot is hardly ever important in Dungeon World.
Maybe you could like put some fire in there and melt that crap.
I could probably just, melt the mechanism
I'll try it.
using my handcraft. I don't even have to roll for that.
Oh, if you don't have
But
to
is
roll,
it
then it
trapped?
doesn't work. This is an important thing to
Yeah.
get past.
The emulator has a lot of things that he doesn't seem to have to roll
Yeah.
for.
I can unmake things, but to do so without time and safety, you might require defy danger. So but there's not really a timing thing for that. But I can try to just burn the
But
door
in
down.
this case, actually, who has the highest intelligence here? I normally don't
I got
do
a
this,
9.
but I'm going to
12.
throw this out here.
13.
13.
We have 13s.
All right. Well, I'll do this again. This is between Breton and Laramie might know something. Each of you roll 1 die. And let's see if together you get a 10 plus.
Ooh,
Oh, that's a good start.
he did his
3.
work.
So
That's a 9.
Nine.
Plus you
Plus
each
one.
We
have a
use
plus
plus
1.
one.
All right. So in the back of your head, we'll go with Laramie on this because it seems like it'd be more of a paladin thing. In the back of your head, you remember once upon a time hearing that necromancers have links with their minions. So it might be that the necromancer knows that you're here now. So you are probably pressed for time, where Chris was just saying as far as melting the lock might not be so concerned about time. You might be. Because if there is indeed a link between the necromancer and the minions, the undead it has created, then it knows that link has been severed with several of them.
Yeah, there could be a lot more coming. We might want to hustle.
Hurry it up.
All right.
So what is your stat that you normally use?
Wisdom.
Okay.
Well, it depends what I'm doing, I guess. So,
So
it'd
you
either be
could do something based on your fire. So for me, I'm
Right.
looking at your main stat. So you'll do a defy danger with that to see if you can get it melted quick.
okay.
Maybe con?
Yeah, it's either con or it's just both the same.
Either way.
Oh.
Yeah, 13.
Okay.
Either way, it's
so
awesome.
it does.
Punch a
And
hole through the thing.
You can feel, maybe you've had to do this before too, but you're melting more than just metal. There's something mystical at work here that you're melting as well. And between the two, you are able to get that almost all the wood around the iron mechanism starts burning. Not like fire burning, but like wood burning, singed, when you use that like wood burning tool kind of thing. And you get the nice smell of some pretty fresh wood being burned because this door is pretty new.
Cedar.
The lock gives way, and once the lock gives
That's
way,
some
the door
marshmallows?
actually opens towards you, like it opens from the inside.
Okay.
And it does that on its own. Like when you released the mechanism, the door just slowly opens, like it's pneumatic. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then that hallway in front of you is lit by torches that don't have a fire on them. The torches are just glowing, a normal flame color, but they're just glowing.
Well, isn't that inconvenient?
LEDs.
They're LEDs. It's LED torches.
Even the
on
wizards
wall.
I feel like this
energy
wizard knows
efficient.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
Looks very welcoming.
And so I'll let the GPS, since it doesn't necessarily matter where we're going, Laramie, what are the directions to get there?
All right, so we go around the curve, and there's those torches, and then there's another door, but the door's unlocked because they didn't think you'd get past the first door.
And Bob told you it was unlocked, so that works.
And on that other side of the door, there's a stairs up and a stairs down, but you got to take the stairs down because stairs up go to nowhere.
Bob was one of those direction-giving people. You're going to get to this intersection. There's a Burger King on the right and McDonald's on the left. You don't want to turn right or left. Keep going straight. He's that guy.
Just mentions everything.
Yeah.
And then you go down past Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And
There's a dead elven princess. Just pay her no
just
mind.
disregard.
Balloon
Keep going.
fletched arrows in her back.
And then once you get down to the bottom, there's
She should have been a zombie. Damn it. Too late.
there's 3 doors. And
3 doors down?
Yes, 3 doors down. And
And Zombie Monty Hall is waiting there for us.
And you don't want to go to those doors because those doors, there's trap doors. But speaking of trap door, if you look on the one side, there's a trap door.
Take that one.
You want to take that one.
Okay. So we get down there.
3 doors down.
As far as I know, we're pretty much 10 feet from where we started. Everything just kind of looped back around. So based on what Bob said, on the other side of that door is where the necromancer has his stuff, where he lives, probably the best way to put it. And because you had the right route, you know that almost all of the other undead, which according to Bob, there's a lot. He's one of the most recent. They're all around, but not right where you are. You took the direct route, and they're around.
Like those 3 doors are
Yes.
just jam-packed with undead.
Yeah. So at that door where he should be on the other side, you guys are all there now. It is also what looks to be magically and physically locked. Very similar to the other door. What do you guys do? Oh, also, you hear on the other side some low thrumming sound in addition to some gravelly old voice chanting.
Not sure if I could burn through this one or not.
I wish we had a druid. Maybe could turn into a mouse or something.
Magic missile the door.
salamander.
Or a fly on
Salamander.
the wall.
I mean, I could try to burn through it, but
I mean,
no guarantees.
burn Nate.
Barnett. Anybody else have any other ideas while he's heating up
Just magic missile
the door?
the door, the lock.
Let's let her do it then. Go
Yeah.
for it. Another roll by another person. And then if that doesn't work,
She got it.
7, 10.
7-10?
10.
Okay.
Now, do I need to do my damage?
No, we're just going to say that the magic missiles hit it. And what does your magic missiles
It's
look
blue.
like again? It's a blue. Is it like a sparkly thingy?
Blue, sparkly
Like a
balls.
peacock blue.
Sparkly blue
Like
balls.
an unnatural
Blue
peacock
Yes.
blue.
Everything is peacock blue. So the magic missiles hit it, and you've unlocked it, but the door doesn't open. And it's probable there's something else on the other side that's blocking it from opening. Maybe it's barred or something.
I can.
All right, brute force.
I'm
Come
gonna
on.
hit it.
And hit it.
Yeah, I put up my shield and run at it and just hit it.
As you're doing that, as you're moving forward, the door itself it looks like a thick black ink is starting to cover its. I was doing the wrong motion. Like from the outside in, like from the edges of the door, it's starting to get covered in a thick tar. It looks like tar. We'll use that.
Well, I'm
as
hoping
you're
that I break the
charging
middle
forward.
of it.
Okay,
We'll
go
see.
for it. Just give me a strength roll here.
That would be a 10.
A 10? All right, so you hit it really hard, and you hear something start to splinter on the other side. There's definitely something else that was holding this door shut, but one hit is not going to do it. Maybe a couple of more hits or more help might do it.
I thought he was going to be on the other side, and when we hit it, just open the door and you
That's
would
what
fall
I
through.
thought. I was like,
Right into a
that-
pit.
But the way for me it was, I described it like the other one. It's going to open towards you, so that would have been funny, though. What's Breton doing?
He's hanging out, ready to shoot anything that's standing on the other side of the door.
What's Cloud doing?
Standing next to Brett and ready to eat anything that is standing on the other side of the door.
Okay, so you're the sentry.
I'm
of this
basically
one.
at the ready.
Okay.
I'm gonna conjure a flaming sword.
Okay.
My giant flaming sword. Well, I'm gonna attempt to conjure my
A
giant.
giant flaming sword of doom.
Oh.
What's that?
So I'll do 7. I'll use it with my thing here.
All right.
Dagger
you
of
have it.
Doom.
Jeez.
But
No, it's
what
still a
is-
flaming sword. I just get one. I only get one of my extra, tags on it. That's all.
But it is what? It's dangerous.
Oh, it's automatically
by default?
it's automatically fiery, touch, and dangerous.
Dangerous. Okay. So we have some dangerous flame going.
But I will use forceful. I will add forceful to it so I could
Okay.
smash through the door.
Okay, so you're going to use that to smash. Go. Hulk smash.
Yeah.
Smash.
10.
10. You hit the door, and the flame catches the wood and whatever the black stuff is, and it's like briefly you're blinded by a flash of fireball, like a flash burn when you hit this door, and it kind of disintegrates everything. There's a big puff of smoke, and it's definitely... Yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely an acrid smell, like you're burning.
Smells good.
Burning something that shouldn't be burning. And on the other side, it is just pitch black. As soon as that the brightness from the flame dies, you still have your own fire, but on the other side of the door, it's like a darkness that isn't penetrated by the light outside. So it's just a pitch black area on the other side of the door.
Like a magical darkness.
Probably.
I could do light.
And the low thrumming noise is a lot louder now that the door isn't there. But the chanting you heard has stopped, and you hear from inside, in addition to the low thrumming noise, just the clattering of what sounds like really big bones.
How big was this doorway?
This doorway was a normal-sized doorway. So let's call it maybe 5 feet wide by about 7 feet tall. And it's one of those that instead of a square or an arch, it comes up to a point at the top.
Gotcha.
I don't know what the right word for that style of door is, but it's pointed at the top.
Pointy door.
Fancy.
A fancy pointy
Fancy,
door.
expensive.
Fancy, expensive, burned pointy door.
You want to wait for whatever it is to come to us?
Well, I could
Yeah, we
put
could.
some light on the situation.
You
So.
do it on your shield, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm
So
So
gonna do
there's
it. I'm-
enough light where you guys are, but who's going to cast the light? So he can do it, you can do it. Who's going to cast it?
It's a rope. Do I have to cast it?
Oh, yeah, it's a spell. You still have to roll to cast
your
the
lights-
spell.
Maybe I'll go, and then you can just have other stuff ready.
Okay.
Does that
Alright.
permeate magical darkness?
We're going to find out.
Might be a little bit.
All right, that's 8.
Okay. What is your 7 to 9
Wait.
choice when you cast a spell?
Maybe one more, but yeah,
It's still not a
doesn't
10.
matter. 7 to 9. I guess it would be like normal ones, so I'd have a
Yeah.
joint.
Do you want to forget it, take a -1 forward casting spells, or I can't remember what the third one is. What's the third on cast a spell?
Attract unwanted attention.
Spells.
Unwanted
Yeah.
attention. That's the
Yeah.
other one.
I'll take the -1 forward to casting spells because
Okay.
I
You
don't
don't
see
do
me
that a
casting
lot.
too many spells.
So the light emanates from your shield and just stops right at that doorway. But it's bright where you guys are.
All right.
You have now lasered yourself for the enemy. They know exactly where to find you.
Well, I think that I just need to apply the
Spotlight.
light a little bit more generously, so I would like to run into there.
All right. Who else is doing what at this point?
I'll run in behind. If he's running in, I'm going to run
okay.
behind him.
I'm not running anywhere.
You're just going to hang out?
Just
Okay.
staying.
When and Breton's still
I'm going to stay
staying at the guard
back,
with the bow
yeah, with
ready?
Little or with Cloud ready.
We'll kind of
Watching behind the guys.
Right.
Why don't you watch behind us?
Yeah.
And I'll watch behind them
I'll look.
going in.
I'll watch 3 doors down,
That sounds like a plan.
and you can watch that way.
It's live too.
Wow.
So, Laramie, as you charge in, as soon as Laramie passes that, it's like he walks through a curtain. So as it stays dark on this side, and he goes on the other side. And Uriel, you see that right as you pursue.
Laramie, are
And-
you okay?
Did we
Right
lose
after
sight of
him.
him?
So far.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you can hear each other. You hear each other just fine. It's
Because
just
you just disappeared.
Uh huh.
now inside.
Can you see us?
Uriel, no, you can't see out. But inside, Uriel and the other
Laramie.
Mike, Laramie.
Laramie.
You can see the room now. And the room, as much as you can see, about 10 feet away, it just looks like you ran in and your feet crunch. You look down and it's just bones and skulls and stuff along the ground. And the room just seems to be filled with dead things. And as you run in, there's this black-robed figure in front of you, and it just looks like an old man. Everything about him seems old except for a very black, thin mustache and goatee, but the rest of him looks like it should be white or gray. And he's standing there and he's mumbling, and you can see right behind him what looks like maybe the skull of a dragon or something with its mouth opening and clamping closed, looking right at you.
All right.
Well, I mean, if I'm charging through, and unless going through the darkness turned off my light, as soon as I got through there, the light would still be gone. So
Well, that's what you can see, a 10-foot globe around you from your own light.
So I want to flash him and then football tackle him with a shield.
do you
just
want
charge
me to
forward?
come in and hold person?
Well, I think all you're hearing is me yelling and running.
Yeah, they can relay what's going on, but in the short amount of time that they are actually noticing this, would not be enough necessarily for them to shout it out to you.
All right. How
But
about
you
if
would
I
hear them.
if I hear it and I'm like, uh-oh.
I mean, you're definitely hearing,
I'm gonna go
yeah!
in. I'm going in.
Snap into a Slim Jim!
That's it. I'm going in.
So let's roll a hack and slash tackle here.
All right.
Either that or defy danger strength. It's going to be the same number. Uh-oh.
All right. So that's 5 on the dice plus 2 is 7. So
okay.
Chip wouldn't help too much. So 7's
No,
probably all
unless
right.
there are 3 out on the board to turn it into a 10.
I mean, that's
Did you
fine.
use that
Yeah, I
one?
used it.
Okay.
Okay.
I got one.
I mean,
All right,
7's
so then that's
okay.
not
Seven's
enough.
all
Yeah,
right.
7's okay.
So you'll hit him, and when you hit him, right as you're hitting him, big claws come into the globe, and you're charging forward, and claws are nicking you as you go by. So you're going to deal. Well, what is it you wanted to do? Did you just want to
Just
knock
sorta-
him over?
Maybe knock him down. Maybe distract him from casting what he's doing, or just
Get a
if I
shield
could knock
check
him out, like just
Okay.
basically knock him down to the ground.
So you hit him and knock him down, and roll a d8 and take that damage as the dragon skeleton claws
Did you roll an 8?
That's an 8.
Yeah, so the claws
Ooh.
pierce whatever armor you have and just poke right into you. It was reaching forward as you are charging in the opposite direction, so you had a full head-on collision with some animated dragon claws.
All right. I want to try and do hold person on.
Before you get in there,
Yeah, I'm gonna-
Uriel has one
You're doing
action
that.
he can do.
I'm gonna.
Is this just animated dragon or animated dragon claws?
From what you can see, well, there was a shape of a dragon skull right over the necromancer's shoulder. And just as Laramie was charging forward, claws came out of the darkness.
Did he knock him on the ground?
Yes, he knocked him down.
All right,
So
I'm gonna-
there's a
Oh,
hint
and he
of
also
more
stopped
than-
chanting, and he looked stunned.
I'm gonna try to just pierce him straight through the chest with this flaming
With your
sword.
large, dangerous, forceful.
As an aside, can you light my arrows so that I can have flaming arrows?
Technically, yeah,
Flaming arrows.
totally. Yeah.
he has to light him with the blue.
Oh,
Did you
no.
roll-
You found the dragon
I
too.
probably stabbed him in the chest. I guess maybe.
Ouch.
Snake
All right, so
ass.
give Chris a chip.
Yeah. Need all
And,
the chips I can get now.
Yeah, chip on your shoulder.
So as you lunge forward with your blade, the dragon skull comes down and just clamps around you and lifts you off the ground, and you're held motionless and take a d8 of damage as well.
Oh my gosh.
7.
7.
7.
I'm gonna have
Okay,
some
at this
healing work
point-
to do again.
At this point, I don't.
But
Does
you're gonna
Uriel
finish.
make noise when he gets?
Oh wait, it's a 7.
Oh yeah, you get to
Ooh.
reduce some of it.
3.
3 points. All right, so just
Okay.
down.
Does Uriel make a noise when that happens? Like, has anything been alarming enough that Breton might be incited to come in yet?
Dude, you just got eaten by
I
a
mean-
dragon skull. I would think.
Oh well, no. I want to. Yeah, before I want to say, get your asses in here.
There you
But
go.
I'm already on the way in.
Okay.
Now, would the dragon claws be affected by my armor, or do they just
pierce.
go right through?
They're
All right.
piercing, definitely.
Cool.
I'm giving them like a piercing 3 because
That's
it's
fine.
a dragon.
I have 3 armor,
Yeah.
so
I'm gonna hold the wizard and shut him up with my hold
He-
person.
Right now, he is shut up and looks stunned because he'd been. As soon as you get into that globe of light, you see the necromancers on the ground, like,
I'm
after
definitely
being
holding him.
bashed in the face by a paladin. He was very successfully bashed in the face with a shield, specifically to knock him down.
So
and
then, should
interrupt
I
him.
just come in and heal?
I don't know.
Or you guys want
You
me
can
to
do whatever you like.
Try
but
and
if you were holding him to trying to get him to not do anything, he's currently not doing anything.
Also, if you have destroy a skeletal dragon, that
No,
might be a good
I
one
was
to
gonna say, I
cast.
can't do hold person on that. 'cause
Turn
it's not a
undead
person,
dragon.
but I could do turn undead. Maybe.
I mean,
could
that
try.
might help out.
Just bring the
Okay.
pain.
Here comes holding my symbol because I have to hold my holy symbol aloft and call
Okay.
on the power of Zareka for protection. 9
Very nice.
9
plus 3 is a 12.
Okay.
On 10 plus, I momentarily daze intelligent undead and cause mindless undead to flee.
So
Is it intelligent or not?
It gives you the impression that it is intelligent because it just kind of stops its motions because its claws were moving,
Does it
Oh,
its
drop
jaw
me?
was clamping, and it kind of just stops what it was doing, and its jaw loosens, and Uriel falls to the ground in a fiery, bloody heap.
Ooh. That looks painful.
Breton, you get in there,
This is a messed
and
up.
Is it
as you're-
painful? Does it hurt a lot?
No.
as you're walking in, it looks like the place is getting brighter, or maybe running in, whatever it is you're doing. It looks like the place is getting brighter, like the darkness is lifting.
I don't think shooting a skeletal dragon with my arrows is going to do much.
You are a ranger.
Do more than nothing, I guess.
Better than sitting there.
But there is a necromancer there, too,
Yeah,
who
exactly.
is currently unharmed, just dazed.
Yeah, he's held.
Nope.
No, he
No?
was,
Well, he is held,
rushed.
but he's not magically held.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's cuddling him over
he
the
got a
corner.
shield in the face.
Yeah.
In that case, I'm going to command Cloud to hold the necromancer by
Sit.
standing over him and growling and threatening to rip his throat out.
Okay. And what are you going to do with the necromancer?
Well, it's probably easier to get him to call his dragon off than to kill the dragon with my little arrows, right?
I don't know. Maybe if
I'm
you
hoping
kill the
just killing the guy would just
Yeah,
do
maybe
the
if you
job.
kill the necromancer, the things that he animated die.
What if he's a good necromancer?
Are there any good
What if?
Are you implying that I should just shoot him in the face with an arrow?
I'm
What if we
implying-
find a new ranger who
I'm
doesn't think
implying
there's
that-
good necromancers?
I'm implying that we're right past the hour mark, so this is going to end very quickly, and I'm determining what the end is going to be. And I think Breton has been out of the action enough that it makes sense.
So he draws an arrow. He looks over at Uriel and asks him if he can light the arrow for him from a distance. The staffs, and he rolls and shoots a 10 to try to hit the necromancer in the face.
Okay. So the arrow hits the necromancer in the face.
Flaming arrow.
The flaming arrow of doom hits the necromancer in the face. And so he was on the ground just trying to gather his wits. The arrow hits him in the face, sticks there, goes right through his nose socket. Sticks there, and the flames just start going up the arrow shaft and catch the unnaturally blue fletching. As the necromancer just kind of quivers a few times. And as he's quivering, all of the darkness in the room starts to go away. What you see now as the darkness is going away, this like full-size 20-foot dragon skeleton just starts falling piece by piece down to the ground. One rib falls, one shoulder blade falls, and within 10 seconds or so, it just kind of crumbles in a heap to the ground. And you have defeated the necromancer in the ancient castle.
Yay!
I want to take that dragon skull back to the smithy and hang it up.
And I heal you guys up, unless we're taking a rest.
I mean, we're going to go back to town, but...
We're definitely going to loot all the stuff. In the
You
city.
definitely.
I
And
am.
we can talk about the loot when we do a recap in the next session.
I'm gonna let,
Yay!
The Widow Merrymaker heal me up. While we rest.
Is that what the kids are calling it now? All right. So for
Sexual
now,
healing.
we will wrap up this episode. And we can all say
Bye.
The preceding podcast was brought to you by One Joe Young. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.